Good morning. Hey, we're back at it today. Back at it with we're not the white vans, Daniel, because we don't do that. It's a little bit weird. It's a little, that whole joke was back in the day. Good morning to you guys. It is Monday. I was MIA last week, and the week before I had camp. Last week I had a lot going on. I still am rocking and rolling at a fast tick. Good morning. I know you guys might have missed me. If you didn't, it's okay. I missed you guys. I do love you guys. So today we're going to just chat about being back at it, what that means. And I think it has to do with the fact that sometimes we got to take these pauses. Now, one of my clients is Johnny El Sasser, Sassy Pants. You guys should look him up. He has this thing called it's actually kind of cool. It's this Wild Man Experience. He has a great podcast called the Art of Masculinity. He talks about what's called the tactical pause. Now, this is a whole speech he's building, and this is not me taking it any way his thing. I'm giving full credit to the man because it's a cool concept. He did some cool things. Go look him up. He did some cool things in the military, man. Good dude. And he talks about breaching and entering like buildings. You ever see like the movies where everybody go. They blow doors up. Anyway, it's called tactical pause. It's about taking a moment to pause for a bit and just kind of breathe it out and then go to work. We'll call that, right? Do something with a pause to breathe and keep moving. Good morning, James West, Cheryl Alexander. Good morning to you. And so this thought that I want to have today is about the moments we gotta have to have pauses. Now, I did get a lot of messages from people like, hey, where you at? Are you ghosting us on the live streams? Not doing them anymore? Like, yeah, I'm still doing them. I just, every once in a while, things got to be a little bit of a pause. I have a book launch coming out, which means I'm doing a whole lot with people in different podcasts and recording times. And my typical life doesn't just stop when I put this book launch on top. You got to keep doing other things, which means everything I was already doing still stays. And new stuff goes on top of that. And the only place I could find space was the mornings, because I will not jeopardize my family time. Good morning, Max. How you doing? Day at your heel. So what that means is I do things early. I have some podcasts starting as early as 5:30 in the morning, starting 5:30 in the morning. So I got to get up before that to get myself ready to rock, and then I go. And so unfortunately it ate in, but I think there's times when we have to sometimes just breathe and pause and not freak out about the world around us still moving forwards. It's a big thing. I think sometimes we have this self-imposed energy and anguish of, man, I got to be on. I got to do these things. I got to I got to do it. And it's all self-imposed. Good morning from California. I said New York, love. I appreciate you. Good morning, Titus Lee. So I think that sometimes we got to do some things. Laura Leon, hello. I think we got to pause sometimes. And we have to not freak out about the pause. I think sometimes it's okay to breathe, step back, and take a look, because when you do that, sometimes things settle in differently. You see stuff differently. You can move differently. And I think better, to be quite honest. Think about sometimes whenever you act emotionally or you're in a big energy and you just start going, right? And there's no problem with going. Stocks smell the roses, Max says. There's no problem with going at that pace. But sometimes if you're a high operator, a high performer, you do things at a good tick. We can sometimes get so far down the path because we get used to moving that we don't realize we were down the wrong path sometimes. Or we went too far down the wrong path. And we got to make a little bit of a pause, come back, do some things again, and move forwards. And so for me, I feel things spinning up in a positive way. I have a lot of speeches coming. Good morning, Michelle. Afternoon from the UK. Hey, great. Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. I have a lot of speeches coming up. I got a lot of travel coming up. I'm still dad. In the summertime, I do dad stuff. Like a couple weeks ago, I was in Colorado. Last week? Week before last, I was in Colorado. Then this week coming, actually 2 weeks ago at Colorado. Last week was all my sons. I'm coaching this football team. I'm apparently a defensive coordinator, which got thrust upon me unintentionally. And then this week, I'm taking my son up to Eugene my oldest son to do track. I'm dad, man. They take priorities for me. And then on top of that, I got a book launch. I have programs we have launching. Our whole team did a whole revamp of stuff internally so that when we start putting things in the world, we pretty much are redesigning how we deliver the shift method. Typically, it was you get a little segment of it. Now it's you know what? Everybody who works with me gets the entire shift method, which means you get all the access to the tools and the programs and the apps and everything we do. The differentiation determines if you want to do it by yourself or with our team. That's pretty much what separates it. Then we have the mastermind. So all that stuff getting dialed in, it matters. Greetings from Texas. Yes, I appreciate the love from Texas. So all this stuff matters, right? I got to go back and replan and refigure it out. And if I go too fast, if in the process of creating all this, I move too quickly, I may miss something and have to redo something, or something gets built fun. It's like wanting to build a house and not waiting for the foundation to set before you start building everything on top. You know what I mean? So what I want you to do is breathe maybe today. It's mid-month or mid-year. Actually, it's mid-year, a little past mid-year. But sometimes it's a good moment to stop and breathe for a second and go, man, is everything I'm doing the right stuff to be doing? That's one thing I do consistently. Like every day, every week I do my schedule a month out, but it's like I'm doing the fourth week from this week. And I'm always looking at the weeks leading up to it and saying, is week 1, 2, and 3, am I doing the right stuff? Because if we're not doing the right stuff, we're just busy because we have to be busy. We end up wasting time. It'd be smarter for you to not do stuff that you think's on the list you got to get done that doesn't have to. It'd be better to not do that stuff and sharpen the axe, right? Some stuff we have extra hour. I got to find something to do in the extra hour. No, maybe you should find nothing to do in the extra hour. Maybe you should sit your butt still, do nothing, breathe, have fun with your friends and hang out. And it sounds odd, right? But imagine when you have recovery and you're revamped and you're rejuvenated, what you can do when you go back to the right work, the clear work. And if you don't know what that right work is, it's a whole other conversation. If you don't know what the right work is, the right stuff for you to do, it's a deeper conversation. You really got to figure that thing out, because when you figure that out, it clears a space to move massively. Good morning. Thank you for the Ignite Motivation. Oh, Home Services, Reese Nichols. I got Ryan Kennedy on. I appreciate you. You guys may not know this also, but in the background, I also do live presentations. So I did a whole live training for Reese Nichols, but it's called Home Services of America. Another thing you guys don't know, because I don't talk about everything I do, but I do like full dive in and just pour my soul out to people. And I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me, Ryan Kennedy. I appreciate you, man. That's what I do. Is the pace has got to be quicker. And you got to realize that when you start moving at a faster pace, you start having to pull more of you out. And if you're doing the wrong stuff, here's what takes place. You look back and go 6 months later, go, man, I did the wrong stuff. And then you start questioning if you should move at that pace anymore. And the truth is you should, but while doing the right stuff. If you don't know what the right stuff is, you got to find a process that allows you to figure that out. That's what we do, to be quite honest. It's one of the things that we pretty much help you figure out how to be able to do the right things today for the best tomorrow. Like how to take control of today. Because that's one thing people don't usually have. We don't typically have great control, right? People ask Anthony, what do you think success is? I think success, to be quite honest, is control. You can be free, but you may not have control within your freedom, right? You may be able to control your life, even though you're free to choose. You might be stuck in a situation. That happens. So for me, control is a big thing. And if you can take control of your today to create a desired tomorrow, now you're in a perfect, smooth, beautiful space. And what you're doing is the right stuff to get to the right end result. And a lot of us don't always have that. So I'm telling you right now, at the end of the day, sometimes you need to just pause, breathe, stare, watch, read, then react. And if you operate your life in this manner, I promise you'll find that you get more done in less time. A lot of us think we gotta go fast all the time to get a lot of stuff done. No. Here's a perfect football analogy for this. And I'm going to leave you with this football analogy because this is one of the things that I think about. I'm coaching a lot of kids in football right now. So one of the things I do also in the evenings from 6 to 8 p.m., I got 22 kids out there that I'm with. I'm helping coach, and it's tackle football. It's a monster, man. And so here's what I talk about. When I went to the NFL, my rookie year, I came in with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was with Coach John Gruden, and I was behind a guy named Derek Brooks. Now, if you don't know football, Derek Brooks is an OG. The guy, high school baller, went to University of Florida Florida State Seminoles, baller. Then played for the Buccaneers his entire career, baller. Dude never left the state of Florida. In fact, one time when I was in the sauna, he came in and I was already couldn't breathe. The dude put more water on. It was serious. I had to leave. I had to leave the sauna because I couldn't breathe. And this man is used to this. That's his normalcy. He was born into this in Florida. Anyways, so Derek Brooks, when I got there, was the back end of his career. He's an older gentleman. He's a little bit older. I didn't have the same, pep in his step. But listen to this. Now, I was young. I was quick. I was fast. Everywhere, right? I wanted to go everywhere. So when the ball was hiked, I was gone one direction, right? So I'd take off this way, and then I the play's that way. I have to stop and go way back, and I have to take off and go that way. I was always late to the play. Rookie year, you're trying to figure it out, where guys go, what the plays look like, trying to navigate it all. And I would always end up one or two steps in the wrong direction, then I would go. Listen to this. When Derek went up, ball be hiked, he wouldn't move. He'd pause, look. The dude would get picks all the time. He'd run to the left and snatch the ball for the running back again. He'd be down the hill making tackles all day. And you'd think this dude's got to be faster than me. There's no way he was faster than me back then. He was fast, wasn't faster than me back then. Here's what he could do, though. He was so wise and so smart that in the moments when everybody was taking off, he would pause and read, breathe, then react. So when I'm taking 7 steps this way, I'm taking 7 steps this way. Then I got to take 5 to go back to get to where I want to go. That's 12 steps. He takes 3. 3 steps. I'm taking 12 to to get to the same place as he's taken like 3. Why? Because he simply sat back and read and paused to go there. You see what I'm saying? It's not always about the speed at which you move, but making sure the direction you move is the right direction to move. And then if you can add speed to that, now you're at a whole different level of playing the game of life. I hope this landed. I hope this made sense, because this is how life is. We take all these steps to go fast and go somewhere, never stop and pause and go, am I going the right direction where I got to get to? And then if I can get that mastery down, if I can figure out how to make the right choices, and now I go fast, now it's a game changer for your life.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.